Wholesalers, how much follow-up is too much follow-up? If you guys are not sure how much you should be following up with sellers and you don't want to be annoying, you don't even know what to say, today I got a training for you guys on what to do. If you're pulling the leads, if you're getting from batch leads, I'm going to be talking specifically about the pre-foreclosure list. This training is specifically for motivated leads, for lists of motivated leads that aren't giant, right? Like you don't want to pull a giant list of absentee owners and do what I'm about to show you. It would be too the labor would be too manual. There'd be too much work. This is for pre-foreclosures, divorce, probate. These are for the tax lien, highly motivated lists where you want to get a hold of every single person on that list and you want to make sure you got in touch with them. So if you guys are watching this and you want to know how much should I follow up before I get too annoying, or if I'm doing it wrong or waste my time, this is going to be for you guys. And obviously, as you guys know, Batch Leads is bringing to you this call. And if you didn't know, it's free to skip trace now on Batch Leads. So if you guys need a link where you want to check it out for free for 7 days, their trial, hit me up. I'll send you my link and you guys can try it out, free skip tracing. But again, by the end of this call, you guys are going to know exactly how to follow up with motivated. Well, again, we don't know if they're motivated yet. We know that they want to sell, or they have a indicator saying they should sell, or they want to sell. But that doesn't mean they're really going to sell. Okay. That's why you have to do this follow-up technique, because a lot of the time you can't get a hold of them. And if you aren't thorough and tactful about how you do it, it's going to be hard to get a hold of people. So anyway, tips on following up with sellers. We're going to be going over direct to seller. This is the strategy. Okay, guys. So bear with me. I'm going to be talking to the mic. Hopefully it sounds good as I go through this. I created this for you guys. So step number one in following up with sellers, right? Pre-foreclosures, making the first contact. That can sometimes be the most difficult thing that we all face, is getting a hold of someone, because now with the way things are, cold calling, people getting texts, people getting hit up with the election, people are getting bombarded and they do not want to answer their phone a lot of the time, right? And if anybody has been doing this job for a while, they know, like, okay, sellers aren't answering their phones like I thought they would. So you have to make the initial contact first. Okay, that's the goal. Now, how do you do this? How much is too much? How much is not enough? Okay, this is what I got to say. You're going to pull the pre-foreclosure list from batch leads, and this is how you're going to do it. Look, this is how you're going to reach out. And this is my strategy, or like my workflow. Again, this is not if you have an auto dialer, right? If you just blast through, if you pull a pre-foreclosure list in your market, there's probably only like 100 to 500 on that list. If you just only cold call and just do that alone, you're going to get through that list in like 30 minutes every day. And what I'm talking about is being tactful about getting a hold of the right person. And these are the steps. So you're going to pull one of those numbers and you're going to call it 3 times. Okay. A lot of the time, the numbers that you're going to skip trace are going to be disconnected. So just get rid of those. You're going to call 3 times. Why would you call 3 times? Well, guys, if I get a random call right now on my phone and I don't know who it is, or the number doesn't pop up, it's not saving my phone, I'm not going to answer it. If they call twice, I'm going to say, oh, maybe this is someone that knows me. Let me answer it. Okay. Now look at that. I don't know how that happens, but check it out. So I'm going to answer my phone. 3, I'm definitely going to answer. Okay. So, and what happens is when people answer, they usually are like, act like nothing happened. And if they're like, why are you calling me so much? Say, hey, I didn't think my calls were getting through. Okay. So anyway, call 3 times. If they don't answer, leave a voicemail, be vague. You don't have to go in and say, oh, hi, my name's Nathan Payne with 123 House Myers. I'm calling to see if you want to sell a house. No, be vague and just say, hey, I'm trying to get a hold of John. I'll give you a call back. I'm assuming you're busy. Okay. Text message, a smart message. Do not just say, hey, my name's Nathan. Do you want to sell your house? Or, hey, I'm calling to see if you want to sell a house on 123 Main Street. That's not, especially with pre-foreclosures, divorce, tax lien, that's like very aggressive, right? Especially if they're in pre-foreclosure or getting divorced. That's not very empathetic to their situation. You want to be smart and say something along the lines of, hey, my name's Nathan. I specialize at working with people that are going through the pre-foreclosure process. I noticed that you potentially might be on there, might have the right information. I might not. I'm sorry if that's the case. I'm here to help. I specialize in working with people in that process to stay in their home or to sell if that is something they're interested in. I want to help you stay in if that's what you desire. Something along those lines where you're basically calling out why you're reaching out and saying, hey, I have options. Okay. I'm not just here to box you in and make you a low ball offer. Okay. So a smart message, and the same thing goes out for mail and anything you say to the specific people you're reaching out to. The message has to be tailored to the lead. Okay. It's not just a generic message. Be smart about it. Number 4, repeat for about a week. If you're calling these people and they're not answering, repeat it for about a week. I would say even 2 at least, just so you can see, okay, maybe I just didn't get them on a bad day where they're working or whatever. Just be consistent with it, right? Now, if none of them answer, that's a good indicator to me that not a lot of people are getting through, or these people just don't want to answer their phone, and that's fine. What you do next is you knock the door, okay? And you leave a note. You leave a note, a little yellow note like this, a handwritten note, and you just say, hey, looking to get a hold of you. Same thing that we said on the text, leave your number, right? Once you leave the note, if they don't call back and you've gone through this process, what you're going to want to do is do a handwritten letter or just a postcard, and you want to stay consistent with that for I would say up to a year, right? Because not all the people that are on the pre-foreclosure list, all these motivated lists, they're ready to make a decision right then. Maybe they're getting it, they just don't want to talk to you. And especially if you send it and it doesn't get delivered and get sent back, you know that you've gone a little layer deep. You got a layer deeper than everybody else, and you can do a little bit more research. Maybe you can start calling some of the relatives that were skip traced and asking, hey, have you heard about them? A lot of the time when people are on pre-foreclosure lists, it's because someone has passed away and they're not able to get in and pay the bill. Okay. So you can find that out. Now, if you have a CRM, throw them in your follow-up drip sequence, your drip campaign. If you have one, if you don't, totally fine. But that's what you're going to want to do. I know it seems like a lot, guys, but you're going to be able to reach a couple people throughout these steps. You don't have to go through every single one. But I know if I'm getting to someone down here that I have a hot opportunity in the sense that there's not a lot of competition on it, because I've had to do a little bit more deeper diving than most people are willing to do. Okay. So that's the first initial contact. Now, if you guys are struggling to even get a hold of people, that's what you do. Now, if you aren't struggling to get a hold of people, this is what you do. You have to qualify the opportunity. Not everybody is worth your time. Okay. If someone wants to talk to you, that doesn't mean it's worth your time. Okay. That just means that maybe they just enjoy talking. Okay. So you want to be able to get them off the phone as quickly as possible. What that means is you want to disqualify the lead. So in order to qualify a lead, you want to disqualify them, get them off of the phone, and make sure that you want to only talk to people that you can serve. And what we do in this industry is we help people and we serve people. We help them solve their problems, right? So how do you disqualify someone? There's a couple questions I like to ask to disqualify someone. I say, have you considered listing it? Have you considered flipping it? Have you considered renting your home or keeping it? Now, the reason why I want to disqualify these people is because I don't want to come out immediately and just make them a lowball offer and then be like, hey, you're just trying to take my house. Because that's not what we're trying to do. We're trying to find out how we can serve them by asking the right questions. And when you ask these questions, you find out a lot about the situation. You find out that, no, they don't want to list it because they don't have the time. They don't want people walking through their house because it's messy. They don't want to flip it because they don't have the money. They don't have experience with that. They don't want to do it. They don't want to rent it because they're behind, or they don't want to be landlords, and they don't want to keep it because they're ready to move on. They tell you all these things, and it allows you to know, hey, is this someone that is a retail, just a retail lead that just wants to list it and doesn't have any motivation? These questions, as you disqualify them, if at the end they're like, no, I don't want to do any of that. I just want to sell to a cash buyer. I just want it done. I want quick, fast, easy, convenient close. Then you've gone down into the funnel and you have what I call a hot opportunity, somebody that is someone you can work with. Okay. So I hope I'm not going too fast. I'm trying to make this training quick and easy so you guys can see where we're going. But basically what we're trying to do is get a hold of someone and then qualify them to make sure that you are not wasting your time with that lead. Right now, let's say you're talking to someone, they say, hey, I've already sold it. Right. When someone says I've already sold it, that usually means to me that they're under contract, or you want to clarify it, not that they just signed paperwork or under contract, because a lot of that falls through, especially when they sign with wholesalers. They don't know what they're doing, and they don't get the deal done. So you just want to say, hey, I totally get that. When you say it's sold, is it already closed and you've moved out, or are you just under contract? Right. And if it's just under contract, keep following up and check in on them from time to time. I would just say you want to work with that person. Now, if it's not even they're under contract and they're just trying to do other ways to not sell the house, just check in on them occasionally. Just say, hey, I thought about you. Okay. So after that, guys, after you disqualify the opportunity by disqualifying the opportunity, what do you do next? Okay. So you had a good conversation. You had you connected, you built good rapport. Then this usually happens. Not usually, it happens quite a bit, right? They ghost you, right? They ghost you. You've had a good conversation. You have no idea what's going on and they ghost you. How often should you follow up and what do you say if they've ghosted you? All right. That's a question I get all the time, right? Because a lot of the time you can get the initial contact, you've had a good conversation, but then they don't talk to you. A lot of people feel uncomfortable following up too much after they had that conversation because they don't want to bother people. But understand this, that life is going on. This is your job, and this is not their job to sell their house. They're in this situation mainly because they haven't taken action to fix it, right? So you have to double down and just be really good at checking in and following up and understanding that life happens, and this is probably not their number one priority. Okay, so what happens if they ghost you? What should you say? Okay, so what I do is if they've made it past the qualification round and this is a hot opportunity or someone that is qualified, I will follow up until it's sold, or they say, leave me alone. I'm going to freaking come over and find you if you don't stop talking to me, which they never really do. Okay. But until it's sold, not that they said like, hey, I've signed a contract. I'm talking it's sold, because I've talked to them. There's an opportunity. I'm going to be able to give them an offer. If we have that conversation, we take it further, that I'll be able to help them, whether that's a wholesale, novation, creative. We're going to be able to get the deal done no matter what. Okay. I just need to be able to get in front of them. And that's how you should feel. If I can just get in front of this person, we have a good conversation and they're ready to go, then I'll be able to, get the deal done and help them solve what they want. But you follow up forever. Okay. And what does that forever mean? That just means until they sell it. That's my opinion, because if you've gotten this far and you've disqualified them, or if you've qualified them, they've passed the disqualification round, then this is a lead that will get you paid and you can help them solve their problems. Okay. So how do you get a hold of them after you've qualified them and they've ghosted you? And how much is too much? Again, you follow up with them forever. It's never too much, especially if they haven't responded. And if they do respond and say, get lost, then it's up to your discretion to keep going or not. Okay, so how do you follow up with them at this point? So what I like to do is I like to throw a lot of different variations of follow-up at them. I like to text them. I like to email them. I like to hit them on with a voice memo on your cell phone. I don't know if you guys do this, but this is really cool. This is like instead of calling and leaving a voicemail, you can on an iPhone now, you can just go like this. I don't know if you guys can see this. I'll probably bring the camera a little closer, where it says audio message. You just click on audio and it starts, hold on. You guys probably all know this, but this is for the boomers out there. So you just go audio and you say, hey, look, I'm just trying to get a hold of you. I hope you're doing good. I'll check back later because I know you're super busy. Okay. You guys probably all know this, but this is for the boomers out there. So you just go audio and you say, hey, look, I'm just trying to get a hold of you. I hope you're doing good. I'll check back. Something like that. And you never want to give someone homework and be like, hey, call me back, because they're going to have like 10 voicemails or texts or whatever you send saying, call me back. Eventually it's going to get awkward. I never say, hey, call me back. I just say like, hey, I know you're busy. I'm going to reach out to you again. Hope you're doing good. I'm going to continue to hit you up. I hope you're good. I'll try again. Okay. So text, email, voice memos, DMs on social media, call. You can DM them on social media. Hit them if they are not responding. Be like, hey, I'm worried about you. Hope you're doing good. How you doing? Hit them up on Facebook, Instagram, whatever you want. Smoke signals. That's a joke, right? Obviously, if they're not answering, doing a smoke signal probably won't work. Venmo requests. Send them a penny. Ask them for $1. I don't know. I'm just saying, you can get a hold of them. There's so many different ways. Gifts. Send them a picture saying, hey, remember when we were on the phone? You told me you had a pit bull. I just saw a pit bull. Here's a picture. Hope you're doing good. Any way you can. All right. So what do you say once you've done these different tactics? And by the way, a lot of you are like, well, how many times do you do it? If you're comfortable doing it 3 times a day, I would say do it. I personally would do every day, and then if they're not answering with time, just make it like every other day, then once a week, but just stay consistent and do whatever you're tolerant with until they respond, right? Because everyone's got their phone on them, guys. They're getting it. They're just not at a point right now where they're ready to make a decision. Just keep following up. So what do you say? Don't give them homework. Don't say, hey, call me back. I know you're getting my calls. I remember when I was a kid, my best friend, I was really big into StarCraft, and I stopped hanging out with him for a while. This was when I was like in elementary school, and he would call me on the voicemail and leave a voice message, and he'd say, Nathan, I know you're playing games on the computer. Call me back. And for me, I was like, dang it. he knows what I'm doing, and I don't want to call him back. This is super awkward. He's calling me out. Same thing with a seller. You don't want to be like, hey, I know you're getting my calls, call me back. It just makes it awkward. So just don't leave them homework. Just say, I'm going to keep calling you. I hope you're doing good. I know you're probably busy. Life is, that's just how life is. I'm going to keep, I hope you're doing good, blah, blah, blah. Like, I'll catch you. I'll try you again later. Just let them know that you know they're busy and that you're going to keep trying. Because if you know someone's going to be persistent, a lot of people like that, right? And if they don't like that, then that's not someone you're going to be able to help, right? So anyway, what I want everybody to remember on this follow-up is, remember, people are busy, all right? People are busy. This is our job. This is what we think about. This is what we dream about. This is what we focus on, is deals and helping people. That's not what they're thinking about. If they're in pre-foreclosure or getting divorced or on a tax lien, they got other things that they're trying to figure out. Maybe their neighbor is yelling at them. Maybe they're in the tax code, the code violations list. They got other stuff. They need to mow their lawn, their bills. They lost their job, like whatever it is. Just don't take it personal if they're not responding to you. Okay, life is happening, and it's not you. They don't even know you. They don't even care about you. They just keep going and don't give up, because, like I said, persistence wears down resistance. Follow-up is the key, especially with lists like this where there's tons of competition. But you get these, again, you can help people. And who do they want to work with? They want to work with the person they trust. And who are they going to trust? The person that won't leave them alone, because they're going to be like, okay, this person actually does this business, because it wasn't just a fly-by-night, like lowball offer, and I've never heard from him again. It's like, no, I've talked to this dude for like the last 6 months. He's pretty motivated and he's pretty interested in my house. So anyway, hope this was helpful, guys. I'm just going to do a quick recap on the process of following up, just so you know, because again, I get a lot of these questions on how much is too much follow-up and when should I stop. So we're going to go through it one more time. Tips on following up. Okay. This is for off-market, pre-foreclosures, direct to seller. First, you have to make initial contact. Okay. You make initial contact. That's the key in the very beginning. You skip trace using Batch. They have free skip tracing. Hit me up for the link and I'll hook you up. So you hit them up, you call each number 3 times. A lot of them are disconnected. Just keep going. Why do you do 3 times? Because a lot of people don't answer on the first call. When they don't know you. Leave a voicemail. Say, hey, I'm going to call you back. I know you're busy. Sorry, I missed you. Text, write a smart message that addresses the situation and shows that you can give them options. Don't say, hey, I just want to buy your house. Doesn't work. Unless you do mass text, and this is not what we're talking about. Repeat for at least a week or 2. Knock on the door if they don't answer. Leave a note. Mail a handwritten letter or use a postcard. You can do that in Batch as well. And follow up on a drip campaign until you get a hold of them. All right. Now, number 2, once you get on the phone, you're going to qualify the opportunity. How do you qualify an opportunity? You disqualify the opportunity by seeing if there's any other options they've considered in selling their house other than cash. If they're like, no, I don't want to list it. No, I don't want to flip it. No, I don't want to rent it. No, I don't want to keep it. Then you're like, okay, great. I think I can help you because I can buy your house many different ways. I can buy it. I can wholesale it, fix and flip, list it, novation. Well, this isn't list it, but novation is technically you're listing it. But anyway, novation, creative, any of those. There's all those different options that you can help the seller accomplish their goals. And I would say this is a hot opportunity, especially if you try to disqualify them. Now, if you say any of these and they're like, I might list it. I know my Aunt Joan is an agent. Maybe I should call her. You should call her, because I'm not going to say, hey, this is the range of cash or like I would need to be, or my cash buyers that usually buy in this area. And I'm not going to do that. And then her be like, well, hold on. Let me call Aunt Joan real quick and talk to her. I'm going to say, hey, call Aunt Joan and see if that's where you want to do. Because my cash offer, it's not going to be as good as Aunt Joan being able to list it for you. Or, I can even list it for you. If you're looking for the highest price possible, if that's what you want, you should list it. But if you're looking for speed, ease, and convenience, that's me, and I can help you and we can get it done. And a lot of people are like, no, I want to get it done quick. Let's just go that route. Okay. So after you qualify them and then they ghost you, that you can't, they're nowhere to be found. You don't know if they're alive or not. You had a great conversation. How often do you follow up before it's too much and you're just being annoying at that point? My take is it doesn't matter how annoying you are. They've told you they're qualified. You can help them solve their problem, and let them tell you to get lost. Don't just be like, well, I followed up like twice and I feel bad about it. Like I feel like I'm being annoying. No, just keep going. they don't care. They have life going on. They're not thinking about you. And don't worry about it. So follow up until it's sold, or they say leave you alone. And then even if they say leave you alone, you can check in and say, hey, I'm still thinking about you. Hope you're doing good. So text, how are you going to reach out to them? Text, email, voice memo, DM, call any way you can. Get a hold of them. Gifts, pics, smoke signals, Venmo requests, direct TV, messenger, whatever. Just get a hold of them. Just say, hey, I was reaching out. I hope you're good. Okay. So what do you say? Be genuine, actually care. Again, we do deals with these people, not because we're trying to get fat checks. That's a byproduct of serving, and wealth is a byproduct of loving and serving others. But mainly you reach out because you want to help them out, see how they're doing. Don't leave them homework. Don't leave them 20 messages and voicemails and emails saying, call me back, call me back, call me back. It's going to be awkward. They won't call you back. Just say, hey, I'm going to keep checking in on you. I know you're busy. Then remember, as always, everybody, this is our job. This is what we think about. This is not what people are always thinking about. They're not always thinking about their property. People are busy. Life is happening. Don't take it personal if they don't want to respond. Let me give you a quick example. This is a text that I have tons of follow-up. Like if I showed you all my follow-up, you'd be like, oh my gosh, this dude's nuts. But you believe it or not, like sellers, they appreciate it. They're like, oh my gosh, thank you so much for following up with me like that. Cause I would have, I've just been busy. Right. So let me show you this text conversation workflow right here. So let me turn my mic right here. So this was the initial, we got on a phone call at first. And this is why I did so much of the follow-up, because we had a call and it was a good call. And she told me she wanted to sell. So, but she's like, hey, I'm really busy. I'm going through a lot. And I said, okay, I totally get it. So we called, and then she texted me, said, hey, I'm going to text you back later. I texted, sent her my calendar link so we could meet on a time that worked for her. She didn't schedule anything. I sent a little voice memo like I told you guys I do.
Hey, it's Nathan. Sorry to keep bothering you with the text, but I just figure you're extremely busy. So, yeah, just reaching out to see when would be a good time. Let me know, and hope you have a great day.
Oh, no. I said, let me know. That gave her homework. I'm going against what I said, but I think that's fine. Let me know is fine. Okay, so then I've kept going. Another voice message. Holy moly.
Teresa, it's Nathan. I know we had a time scheduled today at 12 to walk through the house.
That was actually after I called her. So you're not seeing the calls on here, but we called, we talked. I sent her a picture. So we're going through the process of getting her to sell on terms, right? But she's not going to just sell on terms like the first call. It takes a couple hits sometimes, guys. It takes some follow-up for them to trust you and want to work with you, and they have to check stuff too. Some people want to check with, their attorney and just make sure they feel confident about it. Totally fine. If you're going to work with me, you probably should check, because I want the decision you make to be something that you're confident about. So anyway, I hope this was helpful, everybody. This has been tips on how to follow up. I'm just trying to scroll up to the top. Tips on following up with sellers for pre-foreclosures. And this is on market, right? This is off market. This is anyone that you are reaching out to, not giant lists where you can just get a text blast or mojo dialer or batch dialer. This is when you're working with leads specifically that are motivated and, smaller lists, and you really want to get a hold of these people, right? And you're balling on a limited budget. So you're just taking on, these motivated lists, and you're getting a hold of the people versus just spending a lot of money and just crossing your fingers that you'll get a hold of somebody as you blast through it. This is a more tactful way to do it. Takes time, but hey, when one of these, we did a pre-foreclosure deal, it was 35,000. So like when one of the rips, you can do a rip like that, or 25K. I can't remember the biggest pre-foreclosure deal. I think maybe like 40, 47. But anyway, that's my experience on it, and that's my take. I hope this was helpful for you guys. If you found this video helpful, please like, subscribe, hit the bell icon, follow me, check out my free Facebook group, or go to paynelessflipping.com, where we show you how we can help you with our done for you service on how to convert more of your deals, because it is sales. It's sales and marketing. But I also want to leave this open to answer any questions that you guys have. Does anyone have any questions that they want to throw in the comment section about follow-up, anything additional that I haven't covered, like any specific questions? Let me look here, because I have this on a couple other feeds. So let's see. Anybody have any specific questions? I want to make sure I answered everything too for you guys. Let's see. Yeah, any questions on follow-up? I know that's a big topic, right? Like people not feeling a little concerned about how much they go into it. So let me see. I know I had a question here I wanted to answer for you guys. Let's see. And yeah, guys, feel free to put them in there, but let me look. This is my guy, Caden. He had a couple questions, and I can answer them live right here. Okay. He says, I constantly second guess how often to follow up and what to say. Okay, so he asked me to take a look at a couple texts and like what I would say to those. I think he had specific questions. Do you call each time before you text? Okay, so that's a question. Do you call each time before you text? So personally, for me, I do not call each time. If I've had the initial conversation, like I said, I don't. I do voice memos. I do text. I do email. It doesn't always have to be like a call and then you text. I personally don't even like calling people if we've had that initial conversation, like where I disqualified them. At that point, it's just like touch, 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 touch. Call occasionally, like touch with the text. Voice memo, email, DM. I'd rather do that than call personally. Just trying to okay, so he says, I'm just trying to master the art of following up. So the art of following up is really just staying consistent, right? And not forgetting about them. Let's see. Okay, this is a good one that you guys might like. So he told me that he had a seller that told him like they got like a fat offer. Like their house is probably worth like 550, 600,000 ARV. And she's like, I already got an offer at 750. So he's like, well, what do I do at that point? What do I do if a seller tells me they already got an offer and it's like a crazy awesome offer? So if they don't want to get on the phone with you, it's going to be kind of hard to like ask them the questions that you need to probe and see if it's legit. For me, I would say, oh, wow, that's an amazing offer. Are you going to go with that offer? I would just be like, is that something you're going to accept? And if they're like, I don't know, be like, well, tell me why. It sounds like an amazing offer. Well, I don't know if I trust that guy or whatever. So I would probe and just say, hey, are you going to accept it? And if they're not, even if they don't respond to that and you want to go to a different route, if you just want to be like, well, hey, that's awesome that you got that offer. I'd love to make you a solid offer. I just need to be able to see the house and talk with you more in person so we can get on the same page. Cause I don't just buy houses, straight for cash. There's other ways that we can buy your house that might meet your needs or get you what you want more. Is selling your house for the most money the most important thing to you, or is there anything else that's important to you? Like maybe being able to stay in the house a little bit after we close, being able to, even stay in the house and not even sell. There's multiple options we can explore. So whatever you got to do to show them that, they have options, right? Because not everybody wants to sell if they're in pre-foreclosure. Most of them want to stay. So if you can let them stay, then they know that you're not just trying to lowball them and take their house, right? Which none of us should be doing, right? We should care and love and serve, because that's how you do more deals. So any other questions, guys? And this, I'm streaming this on StreamYard, so I don't honestly know if there's some more questions that are coming out on different platforms that I just can't see. But anyway, I hope this again was helpful for everybody that's watching this. And go out there, follow up, and remember not to feel not ashamed, but don't feel like awkward. You're doing the work that's got to be done. You got to follow up. Nobody's just going to knock on your door and say, I'm ready to sell, right? You're going to be the one that's going to be able to take it to the finish line by being persistent. Okay. Everybody have a great day. And again, check out paynelessflipping.com if you want to chat a little bit more about how we help people with our done for you service and our coaching. So later, everybody.